Yes, sir. Hour number 3 on a Magic City Monday. Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington, and we are broadcasting live from the TireRack.com studios. TireRack.com will help you get there. An unmatched selection, fast free shipping, free road hazard protection, and over 10,000 recommended installers. That's right, TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. Coming up in about 28 minutes, Clay Harbor, former NFL tight end and NFL analyst, sticking his chest out now because he didn't want Caleb Williams and he didn't want Justin Fields, so he wanted to come on Fox Sports Radio and talk about it. So that's fine. We'll love to hear from him. Right now in the Monday Night Football game, we'll give you an update. 34-3,
Man.
Buffalo over the Jaguars. I mean, my God, they've scored all 5 times. They've had the ball.
It's bad.
Touchdowns. And they missed an extra point. And in the other game, Washington is up 14-7 over Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a must-win game. They're 0-2.
We both
they
said
got to win, and they're in Cincinnati.
And I know that they like to, have slow starts notoriously and all that. Yeah, well, every season you keep waiting, guys are getting older. Guys are getting more banged up. New players. It's not like you can just automatically say, oh, we'll be fine. This season is a different season, so you don't want to keep playing with fire. Oh, we just start off slow. We start off notoriously slow. We get better. So, and just at the bottom of what we're watching here, they just showed the Bills running in the locker room, and Damar Hamlin they're showing him right now if you're watching the game, Thursday Night Football.
He had an interception.
Monday Night Football, I'm sorry. It's great to see him. He's got an interception. He got a standing ovation. I mean, usually we kind of a little hyperbole or we exaggerate. We say, man, he died on the field. He literally died on the field. And to see him back out there alone, just period. But now also making plays and interceptions.
It takes a lot. And for him to be out there, you know what I mean, after you've experienced something like that, just to go back out there.
Mentally.
Like for real. Because you just don't know. And every play, I'm sure there's a flashback or an opportunity to think about, should I be out here? I dodged a bullet, you know what I mean?
Seriously.
And whatnot. But he's back in the league and making plays. So that's a great story.
We'll definitely show some love to him, man,
no doubt.
for sure.
But we talked about the Chiefs, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They won Sunday Night Football. They win the game. The Falcons, I don't know what they're doing on a 4th and 1. They pitching the ball out back 5 yards, trying to pick up a first down to keep the drive going. Just bad coaching. I'm not a football coach. Does it make sense to you to pitch the ball out and back 5 yards?
Not against a fast defense,
too. To try to get it when everybody's on the line of scrimmage, you're not passing the ball in that situation. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows what's going to happen. So where are you going?
No, they had a couple of chances to win this, the Falcons, too, which leads to the conversation we're having about the Chiefs, Rob, where they could be 0-3 or 3-0, which obviously they're the latter, but we could be sitting here right now and be saying they're 0-3. And they were right there in games. You had the Ravens, if they're not for a big toe, they lose that game. They had the nerve to want to lose this game against the Falcons. They're just not – look, something's off right now.
And when you say something, especially the guy at the
barely
top.
beat the Bengals, who we're watching right now, get beat up a little bit with the Commanders. So that was the other game. The Bengals, they beat by 1, and that was a crazy how, you had to get some pass interference calls, a couple of fluky things
help,
here.
Yep.
Some help. So they're off. Something's off. But we had Rod Woodson on last hour for those just joining, and he had a great point in that. Look, at one end, you got to look at it and say they keep finding ways to win. And if they mess around and get stuff and get in sync and get this thing going, then it's even scarier that they're finding ways to win close games, finding a way to win ugly games, finding a way to win games that they're not supposed to be in or win, and they are. What happens if they start cleaning up in their act? They start clicking. Travis Kelce cuts his hair and gets his real haircut back, cuts his mustache, starts to come to play football.
But here's the problem. And it all got washed away because they won the Super Bowl, so no one won. But this is longer than just these 3 games. Last year, Mahomes had a terrible year. Okay, here we go. This year. 69.6% completion rate.
Which I'll take that.
Okay, 659 yards. 5 touchdowns, 4 picks through the first 3 games.
That.
His 219.7 yards average is well off his average of 261.4 yards in 2023. His 4 interceptions are third most in the NFL. And his QBR, you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Is 51.2, is 18th in the NFL, just behind Daniel Jones. And we know how bad Daniel Jones is. Okay?
Daniel Jones' ears just perked up. He's like, whoa, what? Really?
And we talked about this a little bit on Friday, but it just continues, and it is surprising. We talked about it coming into their game. His last 7 games, he had 9 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Regular season game, not the postseason. He played way better in the postseason. So that erased everything. But this is now another. Last year, he blamed the receivers. Oh, everybody, they can't catch. They had the most drops, all this other stuff. But the drops, I get. But throwing the interception doesn't mean that had anything to do with receivers dropping the ball. He threw the ball, and it was picked off.
And to be fair, he has overthrown players. He has his team looking out of sync. There was a bunch of times last night, if you were watching the game, I mean, guys are stopping their routes mid-route there. He's mad. Wait, no, you were supposed to keep coming. No, I thought you were going to go that way. And something's off. And I don't know if they're feeling themselves because they have 3 titles. And obviously you always get new players. So not every player has 3 titles. But the core of the team, the head coach, Andy Reid, and on down, they have 3 titles. They've been to, 4 Super Bowls. Like, this is what we've come to expect. And I don't know if they're resting on that. Now, it's also something, to be fair, that they are getting everybody's best shot. They're the Warriors of, 5-6 years ago. They're the Patriots of 10, 15 years ago, where people are circling this game. It's going down. I know big games.
But this isn't
everybody's
going
to be there.
This has been the last 5 years.
But when you're aging, look, Travis Kelce in football years, is what, 62?
Well, he's really struggled. I mean,
he's finally come down to earth. We kept saying he's getting a little longer than 2. Pick it up. Listen, commercials, traveling, new haircut.
Podcast.
Come on, man. Podcasting, hanging out with your brother, doing all this stuff. And, yes, he would get mad right now if he's listening to us and be like, that's not it. We're just out of sync. And we're not saying it singularly is. But if you mix in all of that, you mix in that he's aging. You know what I mean? This does happen, by the way. People do age. And I expect him to bounce back at some point. And, hey, by the way, you've been good for so long. You are the focal point of our defense, right? If we can stop you all's connection, Patrick Mahomes and your connection, we've got a great chance to stay in this game and a great chance to win it. And it seemingly has been working because everybody else is saying we don't trust these other receivers on the outside. Well, they're out of sync. They ain't getting open. They're dropping balls. It ain't Patrick Mahomes has no vibes, no connection with them. If we stop Kelce, we got a shot. And that's what's starting to happen. But credit them. Ultimately, when you close your eyes and you're looking at the next morning you wake up, you're looking at the win-loss column. They keep being on the right side of it.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're I get it, and wins can cover up a lot.
They do.
They're like makeup.
They absolutely
They cover up a lot, but at some point, you can't keep playing with fire and think everything's going to keep going your way. You still have to produce, and they just haven't done it. Don't forget, even when they beat the Ravens in the AFC Championship game, they got shut out in the second half.
They did.
Patrick Mahomes' team got shut out in the second half of an AFC Championship game, they still won somehow because Baltimore didn't play well. That's a shocking thing.
But
that
aren't
they
we looking
score.
listen, so we spent some of this show today saying Baltimore didn't play well. Baltimore didn't close the deal. Baltimore didn't finish. And now with the Chiefs, we're saying the opposite. They didn't look good. They found a way to win. They didn't look good. The defense got to stop. They didn't look good. He finally threw a touchdown at the end. They didn't look good. A field goal. The special teams got a field goal. So I think we are witnessing that, listen, part of this thing is, man, it ain't always going to be pretty. But you got to find a way to win. And Baltimore has shown us sometimes where they dominated games. And then we go, how do they lose this game?
Yeah, but the only difference, here's where I'll push back on you, is Patrick Mahomes is people on reputation, he's the best quarterback going. He has not played like that for more than a year. True. And that's all I'm saying.
He's admitted. There he is on the T-Mobile commercial, too. Maybe too many commercials.
That too. He's on every commercial. But at some point, you got to start to say, dude, I'm not saying that he can't be in a conversation or whatever, but this whole automatically living on the past when we have a body of work that's more than a year. It's not a bad couple games to start the year. Last year he had a lot of interceptions. He didn't play. He's even admitted, And he said after the game he's not having fun. Like, it's just he has to play better. And that's all I'm saying. It's like this is a pattern that's more than a year now.
And I mean, listen, I can't disagree with you. He can't disagree with you. Travis Kelce, who's been heated at his own self, can't disagree with you. Andy Reid can't. But the only thing I will say,
I think even Taylor Swift would say that he's
look, he coming home. He came home one day. She was like, "What's up, baby?" She was like, "Hey, you better get it right. This next hit about to be about you. You better get it right." Everybody here has been in a relationship, whether you're in one currently or at least, you've been one. Rob, you were married for 5 years, even though the odd couple with Chris Broussard lasted longer.
I know. And that only lasted longer because we lived in different places.
That is true. Because if y'all two would have been next to each other, they'd have been on my phone line a little earlier.
Rob G, just be honest. Be honest. I want you to really be honest on this.
Okay.
Some of the heated arguments that we have or had on being cross-country, would there have ever been blows if we were in the same studio?
I'm going to say no.
I agree.
Okay.
I think you were more likely to get into it,
with Doug Gottlieb?
No. Yes. Let me rephrase that. Because you guys were not in the studio together, it made the arguments worse. Because no matter how many times before when you guys were both in the studio, you get into it, knock down, drag out, even cursing, Rob.
Did I curse one time?
Yes, you did a couple of times.
What?
On air and off air.
Did he make Brother Chris cuss?
No.
I was about to be like,
no. But the
freaking frack.
The difference is when you're in studio, you still sit next to the guy for like 3 more hours.
Right.
So you find time during the commercial breaks to talk it out.
To figure it out.
You figure it out, whatever. When you're not in studio together.
And you're 3,000 miles away.
And someone says something that really gets in your gears, and you don't get to talk to him during the commercial break, and you just have to wait till the next segment and act like nothing happened. That's when it becomes real tricky.
Okay.
Well, if you want to throw some blows, let me know.
No, we're not throwing blows. I'm just saying.
I'm back in my gym bag.
We're all good.
No.
All right, but 877-99
on Fox. Before we go to the phone,
Yep,
the whole last point I wanted to make quickly was relationships. I brought up, everybody's been in a relationship. You had the marriage. Was simply to say one thing I think what we're witnessing with the Chiefs is anybody who's been in a healthy, working, thriving relationship, we know sometimes the other person has to carry the load for a little bit. Sometimes I got these couple jobs. This is good opportunity. Great things are happening. She's got to carry the load. In my household, hey, babe, I'm going to law school. We got these kids. I know you're working, but I had to carry the load. And I think right now we're witnessing the Kansas City Chiefs version of, hey, defense, the last year or so, y'all been carrying the load. We appreciate you because the offense did it for some time. Now the defense is carrying the load. And that might be a healthy relationship where the offense swings back and they get things right.
Only issue is, you're talking about Patrick Mahomes.
I thought I dropped the mic. I didn't know we had to have some words.
Yeah, nah. Patrick doesn't get off the hook like that. He's supposed to be a generational talent, and he's supposed to be the greatest quarterback, and he's gunning for Brady and all this stuff. This stretch makes me wonder if he's going to get there because they're not going to win a Super Bowl every year and say he plays 8 more years and they don't win again. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's how people finish. People forget about Brady. Brady won 3 early, went 9 years without winning, and then won at the end. So you have a good feeling for him, but there was 9 years where he didn't win. All right? 877-99 on Fox. When we're talking about Patrick Mahomes, and
you worried?
Are we missing? Is he missing something? Is he the same guy to you? Does he look different to you? Does it feel the same? I know they win, but does Patrick Mahomes feel right to you?
I want to throw something at you when we come back that it might be time for the Chiefs. It's the odd couple, Kelvin Washington, Rob Parker, Fox Sports Radio. Stick and stay.
America. Yes.
Getting really excited to see if teams really start to come to play, Rob, because so far we haven't had those offensive showings that you're used to seeing, you've seen in years past.
Numbers are down.
Yeah, years past, like week 1, you'll have, some guy throw for 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. You're like, oh, wow, a couple of guys have that. We haven't had that, and especially from the folks that you get used to seeing that from. You're used to seeing Pat Mahomes be Pat Mahomes, like Patrick Mahomes doing crazy things. That's not the case this year. Thus far, he has 442 yards in 2 games, which is, okay. 3 touchdowns, Rob, but 3 interceptions. Rating of 90. We'll round up and call it 92. So
You're being nice. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's something ain't quite right.
Well,
Travis Kelce even has come out and said our offense ain't going. He put the blame on himself as he does from time to time. But something ain't quite clicking. But credit them for keep finding wins. But I don't know what's going on. It could just be maybe it's early and they haven't found their rhythm yet.
And here's the other problem. Like, he's still the favorite to win the MVP with 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions right out in Vegas, Rob G. And that's where the issue is. He's still living off a reputation because he really hasn't played well for a while now. Now, he played well in the playoffs. They win a Super Bowl. That erases everything, right? That's where people just go, oh, he's great. He's the best quarterback. No ifs, ands, or buts. Last year, his numbers weren't good.
They weren't to his standards, we'll say.
No, for anybody. He had like 16 interceptions last year. This is a guy who said
14. He was 27 touchdowns, 14.
This is a guy, go look at his first few years. 5 interceptions, 4. He wasn't throwing the ball, turning the ball over like he did last year. And I know a lot of people wanted to blame all the receivers, but here we are. And even Michael Lombardi, who we had on the program yesterday, he even brought it up. And this is a guy who put together 3 Super Bowl teams. Yeah. And so he's not just taking a shot at Mahomes. He's asking a real question. Let's hear Michael Lombardi on The Odd Couple from Thursday.
So far this year is his worst quarterback rating by a long shot. And look, he makes great plays, and he's a great player. But now losing Pacheco makes it harder for him. And look, Kelce hasn't done anything. Kelce's under 10 yards a catch. I mean, that's not any good. You can't win with under 10 yards a catch. So they're going through a change. Right now, I think he's really worried about his left tackle position, which we all were. And for Mahomes, he's worried about it. He can move around and make plays. Look, he's a great player. I'm sure he'll get better as the year goes on. But right now, his numbers are well below his standard.
No denying that.
I think that's an honest and refreshing take on Patrick Mahomes. And I say refreshing because so many people are afraid to offer up any criticism of him. It's okay that he's not playing well. He's done a lot in his career already, okay? He won 3 Super Bowls, couple MVPs, right? Your ticket is punched. You're going to the Hall of Fame. I got it. But that doesn't mean we can't take an honest look and say, what happened, Lucy? Why are you playing so poorly? 3 touchdowns and 3 picks. They're 2-0. But easily they could be 0-2.
That's true.
They can be. And it has worked out for them. You talked about the big toe with the Ravens.
Yeah. I think the credit the team as a whole for finding ways to win, and also credit their defense, including last season, for showing up when maybe they weren't in years past, and they had to rely on all.
They played
on that.
great last year, their defense.
And I think part of that has something to do with it, Rob, where they don't have to rely on him as much, and they have an opportunity to have a defense, and the defense can stop other teams,
fine,
so they don't have to be in shootouts, all the time.
I agree with that, but his numbers still aren't Patrick Mahomes'
and to your point, look, last year, if I told you these numbers and didn't put a name to it, you'd be like, all right, that was good. I'll take that. But then if I said these are Patrick Mahomes' numbers, you'd be like, oh, is he all right?
And go back to some of the early numbers when he first broke on the scene.
Yeah, so if you go to when he really became Patrick Mahomes, you're talking 2018, utterly ridiculous. 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, only 12 interceptions.
Right.
Passer rating of 114. The next year, 4,000, 26 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. 38 touchdowns, only 6 the next year with 4,700 yards. 4,800, 37 touchdowns, 13. Then it gets to probably the last great year, to your point, in 2022, 5,200 yards, 41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, passer rating 105. Then last year, he's down. Now, we cannot ignore the opportunity to throw more yards, throw more touchdowns, and have better games if people had some hands. It was like they had the 4 of us out there, me, you, Alex, and Rob G out there trying to catch passes. And that matters, Rob, because you got guys.
I'm already going to say that.
Let me tell you why it matters. Because if I throw you a pass and you catch it, and now we get a whole new set of downs, well, dang it, maybe I got a chance to go down and score again.
But he's not the only quarterback who goes through this. They made a big deal.
But those drops were historic.
They made a big deal last year. The Saquon Barkley dropped a big play that wound up costing the Eagles a game. Did he not?
No. Well, that was part of it. The defense cost them the game.
But if he would have caught that ball, that would have sealed the game for the Eagles. All I'm trying to say
don't act like you didn't see what we all saw last year.
No, but I'm not. You're not gonna. There are also situations where they saved him, or Patrick Mahomes threw a pick that was dropped. We had a guy from Football Focus who talked about that they couldn't believe how lucky he was with how many balls were actually thrown to defenders that were dropped. And he had the most intended interceptions that were dropped than anybody else in the league. So people talk about that. People talk about the calls that the Chiefs get. You know, when you have that kind of reputation, you're a great team, you've won some Super Bowls. We used to hear it about the Patriots.
Yeah.
That's why I called Tom Brady the luckiest of all time. Every time somebody would melt down and would set it up for the Patriots to take a game they have no business winning. And we've seen that with the Chiefs. But my only issue is it's okay to say Patrick Mahomes is not playing well. It's okay to point out some of his flaws. Nobody's perfect.
I think he absolutely, something's off. Something isn't quite right. Travis Kelce, first of all, Travis Kelce, we keep forgetting because he's very popular, because we obviously know who he's dating. He's got the podcast, seen his brother, he's in a bunch of commercials.
Maybe he's doing too much.
He could either be
Maybe
doing too much or also, bruh, is getting a little old. He's getting old. He's 34, I believe it is now. Him and Gronk are the same age, and Gronk feels like he's 52.
I know, that is pretty.
And he's returned. Gronk has come back. Fox Sports Radio, The Odd Couple, Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington with you on a Magic City Monday. Thank you for rocking with your boys. We appreciate it. Coming to you live from the TireRack.com studios. Our thanks to Rapid Radios, the official communication device of Fox Sports Radio. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage and no subscription or monthly fees. Business owners can keep in touch with up to 200 staff at one time. Go to rapidradios.com for up to 60% off. And, always a good thing, free shipping, Rob.
Can't beat the free shipping. 877-99 on Fox. We want to hear from you.
Can't beat the Chiefs either.
What's that?
You can't beat the Chiefs either.
No,
They're 3-0.
Despite how poorly Patrick Mahomes has played, what are you seeing something? Is this surprising? How shocking? And it's now prolonged. Last year, despite the postseason last year and the first 3 games this year, he's admitted it, that he hasn't played well. This is not some media made-up story. We gave you the numbers. They're not ugly. They're fugly. I'm just telling you.
Is that blank and ugly?
There you go.
That's what happens there. Go to the phone lines, 899-877-99 on Fox, 877-99 on Fox. Who you want to go to?
Let's do Mike in Augusta. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Mike?
Yo, what up, though?
What up, though? Oh, that's a little Detroit love right there. Hold on. What you know about what up, though?
Hey, I just watch a lot of BMF, that's all. I'm from Augusta, Georgia. We don't normally say that. We be like, what up, shawty?
Yeah, I thought what up, though. That's where I'm from. So I heard of what up, though. I thought you've been watching Tubi movies.
No. So check it. My point is, I'm not really worried about Patrick Mahomes because it seems like teams of this year have found the formula that Mike Tomlin never forgot, and that's the key to winning is to be able to stop the run, running the ball, and have a quarterback that can throw the ball whenever the defense know they have to throw the ball. Mahomes is the best at that. When the game is on the line, he has that gene, and he's going to pull it out. I am not a Chiefs fan by no stretch of imagination, but I'm not worried about them. They'll be fine. I'm worried about their running game with all those injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
One last thing. I was smiling on the last segment of my drive home from work when they were talking about you guys were talking about Caleb Williams and using the buzzword because you pinned my comment a couple of weeks ago when I said it was going to be a bust in astronomical proportions, and I'm sticking by that.
All right, 3 games in. Yep, I got you. We got you on the record. Mike in Augusta, Georgia. Thank you.
Mike, I'm not with you on that one, Mike. Come on now.
You, Mike.
You just got to get out of Chicago. Go ahead.
Goodness.
Where are we at next?
Leo in New York City. Our guy Leo, you're on the Odd Couple. Fox Sports Radio. You haven't called since Kelvin took over. Say
What's
hello,
up, Leo.
Leo.
Yeah. Since the Brucer Brigade was gone, I was waiting for the new bandwagon to kick in.
Oh, I got you. Yes. Well, the Broussard Brigade crashed, I think. So I'm just saying.
Yeah. And you know what? With take like this, I can't hop on the Parker platoon. No, Rob. I cannot.
Wow.
What you got for us, Leo?
When it comes to the Chief, Rob, there's nothing to see here. I mean, this team just
Nothing to
graduated
see
from-
here. Have you seen
nothing to
Patrick
see.
Mahomes' numbers?
Rob, you sat here last week and the previous week saying that, oh, you know what? You're confident that the Bengals or the Ravens can start 3-0 and make the playoff when those quarterbacks are playing bad. But somehow, some way, you're worrying about Patrick Mahomes, who's playing bad, but winning. I mean, you bring back the AFC Championship game last year. Okay, Mahomes was shut out in the second half, but your two-time MVP, unanimous MVP, and almost unanimous second time, only mustered 3 points in the second half. So let's not act like, you know what, Mahomes is playing bad.
No, but nobody said that. People say that Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. That's what I'm trying to say. He's not. He's not the best quarterback in the league right now.
All right, now hold on, Leo. I got him, Leo.
He's
Now
not.
you're saying this. Now you can't say that without saying who do you want?
All I know is
I don't want to
I'm
all
looking
your
at-
nose. Who then are you taking?
Who am I taking?
If you're telling me Patrick Mahomes,
I'm taking Lamar Jackson over Patrick Mahomes, the
Here we
reigning
go. Here we
MVP.
go.
That's who
Here
I'm
we
taking.
go.
so then
Here
Did
you
you
we
see
go.
him go into Dallas and
Here
win a
we
game?
go.
Did you see him not win a Super Bowl? My guy has 3, and I
No,
love
we're
Lamar.
not- this is not-
Leo, this is about to be
Leo-
a domestic dispute. Get
No,
out of here.
it
We're about to
ain't.
get to
Leo-
arguing real quick.
No, because Kelvin is the master of. Thanks for the call. Is the master of the Lifetime Achievement Award. He runs back to the lifetime to the trophy case and goes, "Look what he did 3 years ago. Look what he did last year." We're talking about right here, right now.
And I'm acknowledging that my guy is a little rusty. My guy's going through some
Why
things
can't you
right
just
now.
say
My
playing
guy
bad?
needs a Randy Moss to come save him like Tom Brady started to need a little talent around him. Andy Reid, let me look into this camera. Andy Reid, general manager, who I forgot your name off the top of my head. Y'all need to go get a star receiver. Enough is enough of these. We can just plug anybody in, plug them in. Go get him a real receiver. Travis Kelce getting old. He needs a real receiver. ASAP. I said that to say Steve DeSager right now is going to give us what's trending.
Guys, a lot of scoring going on in the 2 Monday Night Football games tonight. Buffalo with touchdowns on its 5 first half drives. All 5. They're dominating the Jags in the third quarter
Get
right
shut
now.
out in the second half.
The Washington Commanders with touchdowns on their first 3 drives at Cincinnati so far. Right now it is 21-13 in the final seconds before halftime. Washington leading the Bengals. Evan McPherson, who missed a field goal attempt earlier, has hit a couple from about 30 yards out each. Now, on the first drive of the night, Joe Burrow took him straight down the field and threw a touchdown pass of 41 yards to Jamar Chase. Washington answered with TD runs from Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler. Jaden Daniels, the rookie quarterback, with a 4-yard touchdown run. That was set up by his 55-yard bomb to Terry McLaurin. So Washington looking good on offense in the first half. 22 seconds left till the break at Cincinnati. Commanders lead the Bengals 21-13. The Buffalo lead is now 34-10 over Jacksonville as the Jags scored a touchdown to open the second half. But Josh Allen, 23 of 29 passing for the Bills, 263 yards, 4 touchdowns, also an early TD run from James Cook. The Vikings say tests on quarterback Sam Darnold's knee showed no structural damage, only a bruise after yesterday's injury. Cardinals tight end Trey McBride is in concussion protocol. Chargers safety Derwin James was suspended 1 game for repeated personal fouls. The Chargers will likely be missing their 2 best offensive linemen this Sunday against Kansas City. First-round tackle Joe Alt with a sprained MCL. Tackle Rashawn Slater, strained pectoral. Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert aggravated his high ankle sprain yesterday. X-rays were negative, no injury report for them until Wednesday. The Packers say quarterback Jordan Love will be limited in practice again with a sprained MCL. And 49ers QB Brock Purdy is day-to-day with a sore back. His MRI came back clean. The Philadelphia Phillies have just clinched the NL East title tonight. The regular season ends this Sunday. The Phillies are winners at home tonight over the Cubs 6-2. Aaron Nola gets the victory with 6 innings and 7 strikeouts. Phillies record 93-64. They're going for the top overall seed, battling the Dodgers for that, and Philadelphia does hold the tiebreaker advantage over LA for the number 1 seed.
So where are they now, Philly? 2 down? 2 behind?
The Dodgers are off. They have 93 wins, and Philadelphia just got win number 93.
Wow.
So it's a half game back. So the Dodgers will be starting a 3-game series hosting the Padres tomorrow night.
That's a big series. Wow.
Padres yesterday got 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th, beating the White Sox, but it still counts. Meanwhile, the Dodgers had the back-to-back solo homers bottom of the 9th to win. Shohei Ohtani's 53rd homer to tie, and then Mookie Betts hit the game winner out of the park to left. So the Dodgers enter this series tomorrow against the Pods, a 3-game advantage. Keep in mind the Padres do hold the tiebreaker advantage over LA, and we talked about this
last week. How about they gave
week.
up the division at the last week of the season?
That would be news.
That would be unbelievable.
Absolutely. We mentioned it last week. There's no 1-game playoff anymore in Major League Baseball. All the tiebreakers come down first to the head-to-head record between them. Back to you.
All right, Steve, have a
Thank you,
great
brother.
weekend.
Appreciate it.
I mean, a great night. Weekend. Great
Yeah,
night.
well, he's getting out of here early. You got a little vacay. It's Monday, brother.
Sorry about that.
Look at all that. All this talk got you frazzled right now.
Somebody's going on weekend already here.
Ah, yeah, you're getting out of here.
I know.
Excited
I'm
about that.
Weekend. Wow.
Yeah, weather get a little nice around here. You don't know how to act. I cover Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington, coming to you live from the TireRack.com studios. Joining us now, former NFL tight end, NFL analyst, Clay Harbor, Clay Harbs 82 on X, joining us. Rob, Clay, he said he wants to basically pull up some receipts or something he said a little earlier last time he was here. Clay's got a little receipt, right?
All right, let's hear it.
Well, no, you
have the receipt.
You have the receipt.
You're the
you
one who
Justin
said
Fields.
right. You didn't want Caleb Williams. You wanted Justin Fields. So you want to gloat? Is that what you want to do?
Oh, yeah, I said, hey, man, we got this pick. Justin Fields, if you put him in the right situation, can play football. So I don't understand why you trade away this pick. You trade away Justin. When you could trade this pick, you could have Marvin Harrison Jr. You could have got 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, and right now you're seeing, you heard what Ryan Poles said, we need a quarterback that can win us games and go down the field. Look at Justin Fields. It's not the quarterback. It's the coaching, it's the organization, and it's everything else.
Okay, so let me stop you. So all the busts that we've seen in quarterbacks, first-round pick, and there's a long list. Zach Wilson, it's everybody else's fault. It's only because none of those guys had coaching and none of those guys had the right offensive coordinator. Jamarcus Russell. There's a list. Ryan Leaf. There's a list of 30 quarterbacks who were drafted in the first round, first overall pick, top picks, who were bust. So it's always coaching whenever they don't do well. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying Sam Darnold. I'm saying Baker Mayfield. I'm saying even check out Malik Willis. Yes, a lot of the time it's the situation.
You're giving me a couple, yes, that have bounced back, but there's
I had some more too. I was going to join
But there's
them.
also a lot of guys who flamed out, who never made it.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, so that's my point.
Yes, absolutely. But Justin, to me, wasn't one of those guys. He was a guy that you could tell could play football. You needed a specific offense to be put around him and play a specific game. Stop trying to put a square peg in a round hole. It's never going to work. Stop trying to make him run the spread, throw the ball offense. You get him with someone like Mike Tomlin. You know you're going to win with defense, running the ball, and controlling the ball tight passes. And Caleb Williams out here throwing 50 times.
How was that offense work for the Steelers in the postseason? How's that work?
They haven't had Justin Fields.
I'm asking you, like, how does that work in the postseason? Because it hasn't worked.
Well, look who they had as quarterbacks.
No,
now
but
they
I'm
have
just-
Justin Fields. But no. Listen, they get to the position. They get there. They're in the playoffs. Now, if you need
They
that
can't
one extra
score.
guy who can make that play, that extra guy who can make his legs, who can make that throw, as Clay was just alluding to. Clay, I'm with you. I've been telling this to him all the time. Nobody's saying he's a return of Steve Young, but what we're saying is this guy can play football. Get him in a system that works. Get him in a locker room that buys into an organization that is stability, knows what they're doing, and just see what he can do. And he's shown us what he can do. Now he has to keep doing it, to be fair, but I like what I see thus far. So we can move off of Justin Fields, Rob. I was with Clay, and I didn't even know Clay. And I was with Clay. Mama called him Clay. I'm going to call him Clay.
All right, let's talk about Trevor Lawrence.
Great movie.
Trevor Lawrence and his struggles. I mean, the turnovers and just it's been really, really bad. He had another one tonight. I don't know. I lost track. Does he have more than one? I know he had an interception, just the one interception.
I turned it off.
Yeah, I mean,
You ain't missing nothing.
Not good. Trevor Lawrence, can he be fixed?
I don't know, man. It's tough. I played for the Jaguars for 3 years. Doug Peterson was one of my offensive coaches on the Eagles for 2 years as well. Love Trevor, love Doug. Something has to change. If nothing changes, nothing changes.
You look at these last 8 games, 8 losses they've had in a row, and Trevor just hasn't looked good. He doesn't look like a guy that's worth that $250 million, whatever he got right there, $50 million a year. And I can't put my finger on it. I think the Press Taylor, Doug Peterson offense, whatever they're doing with him, just doesn't work. When he had a lot of success, he had Mike McCoy and he had Jim Bob Cooter there in the room with him. Ever since those guys left, he hasn't been the same. Last year started 8-3, had a good year, got injured, and since then he just hasn't been the same. So I don't know exactly what to say. I've watched some of the tape here. The offensive line isn't great. They haven't been able to get the run game going, but Trevor just hasn't looked good.
I want to ask you about this. Clay Harbor, former NFL tight end, NFL analyst, joining us right now, the odd couple, Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington. I want to go to, we've kind of alluded to it, but the struggles of the young quarterback we're seeing, whether it be first year, second year, nobody's really jumping out there. Even C.J. Stroud doesn't look quite like he did last season. And maybe even just overall, the NFL, minus the Bills right now with 37 points midway through the third.
But the scoring's down.
Down. You're not
Definitely.
seeing those. Pat Mahomes threw for 380 yards, 4 touchdowns. Josh Allen's doing 280 and ran for 80. We're not getting these massive games right now. Is this rust from not playing in the preseason? Rust from not having everybody playing OTAs? What do you make of this situation where the young guys aren't playing well, even the veterans aren't, the offense isn't clicking?
Yeah, man, back in the day, we used to play 4 preseason games. Obviously, the starters would play 3. You'd play a quarter, you'd play a half, then you'd play 3 quarters. And that's what it was. And you had a longer training camp. And OTAs, back in the day, they're talking about 10 OTAs now. There was just OTAs. You didn't count them. You just knew you were going in and playing OTAs. Training camp, I remember Andy Reid, when they got drafted by the Eagles in the 4th round in 2010 in Philadelphia. We had 23 straight days, no days off at training camp, and we're doing 2-a-days. The game is just not going to be as crisp when you can't put together as many reps. Football is won by reps and doing things over and over and over again. Quarterbacks aren't going to get good without all the reps, and that's why it's impressive, these young quarterbacks. These guys are still speaking a different language. I call it a language, man. It's like you learn a new language. When you hear something, maybe trips back at college was really the trio now. So you're translating on the fly. It really takes a year, 12 months before you can start to really understand this new language of the offense at firsthand without having to translate it. So out the reps, the preseason, the OTAs, and everything you're getting there, the offense is never going to be as good coming out the gate as the defense.
Last thing, we got about a minute for you. Just your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers in his last game. He looked pretty good throwing the football around. How did he look to you?
He did.
Oh, man, he looked like old school Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, he ain't moving like a young dude anymore, but his arm,
right.
He still throws such a catchable ball, man. It's such a tight spiral, and that's just a quarterback like that I wish I had. I mean, the ball's so catchable. He's still got the live arm. He looks like he's still having fun out there, besides when Robert Saleh tries to hug him. We won't talk about that.
Yeah,
that's me when Rob gets too excited. I'm like, hold on, Rob.
That was a little
back,
weird
Rob.
there. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, but he looks good. You got a defense with him, man. I think he could do some damage. I'm not excited about him beating the Titans and some of these subpar teams that he's winning games on, but hey, he's getting the job done. He's got a defense. I think they can cause some trouble.
All right.
He is Clay Harbor. You can follow him on X, Clay Harbs 82. We appreciate you joining the show, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, fellas.
Yep.
All right. When we come back,
we'll have him back when Justin Fields gets benched.
You said what when he's in the NFC championship or AFC championship game? That's
yeah,
what you
good.
said?
If he's in the NFC championship game, that's telling me a lot.
Yeah, he's on a new team.
Yeah.
I was having Bears PTSD. Last call. If you want to get in, if maybe you called and you couldn't get in, we'll take a last call. 877-99 on Fox. 877-99 on Fox. Also, Brock Purdy looks pretty doggone good. He looked pretty good, Rob Parker.
No, he played well, but they still lost.
Has he changed your mind? That's what we want to know next. We'll talk about it.
877-99 on Fox.
Hit us up, Fox Sports Radio.